In the chaos of World War II, while bullets flew and cities burned, a secret American unit waged a very different kind of war, one built, not on firepower, but on illusion, officially called the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops. This top-secret unit, of just over 1,100 men, was later nicknamed the Ghost Army for good reason. Their mission was not to fight the enemy head-on, but to deceive them, mislead them, and confuse them using inflatable tanks, fake radio signals, sound effects, and the power of sheer creativity. These soldiers, many of them artists, designers, sound engineers, and actors, operated in the shadows of the battlefield, carrying out some of the most audacious deception operations of the entire war, and for over 50 years, almost no one knew they even existed. Formed in 1944, the Ghost Army was a unique experiment in psychological warfare. At a time when the Allies were pushing through France after D-Day and preparing for a final assault on Germany, they needed every strategic advantage they could get. Traditional warfare wasn't enough. The element of surprise had to be maintained, and the enemy had to be kept guessing. The solution: a traveling deception unit capable of impersonating large-scale military divisions, fooling the enemy into believing Allied forces were in places they weren't, and, more importantly, not where they actually were to make this work. The US Army handpicked men from creative backgrounds. These weren't your typical recruits. Many came from prestigious art schools like Cooper Union and Pratt Institute. There were illustrators, painters, architects, sound technicians, even future fashion designer Bill Blass, and abstract expressionist Ellsworth Kelly. Instead of rifles, many carried sketchbooks, but these men were trained to carry out operations that would save thousands of lives. Their tactics fell into four main categories: visual deception, sound deception, radio deception, and what they called atmosphere, the art of selling a lie through performance. Visual deception was perhaps the most theatrical. The Ghost Army used inflatable rubber tanks, artillery, jeeps, and even planes, all life-size and incredibly realistic from a distance or from the air. These decoys could be set up in a matter of hours and moved quickly. To anyone observing from a hill or flying above, it looked like an entire division had rolled into town. But the vehicles were just balloons, and the soldiers behind them were actors in uniform, playing a dangerous game. Then came sound deception. Engineers from Bell Labs helped develop massive speakers mounted on vehicles. These could broadcast recorded sounds of troop movements, tanks, and artillery fire, mixed in such a way that they seemed authentic and specific to each fake scenario. These sounds could be heard up to 15 miles away, and were designed to match the visuals perfectly, completing the illusion. Radio deception involved mimicking the radio transmissions of actual Allied units. Expert signal operators used real codes and communication styles to create fake traffic that would trick German intelligence. Sometimes, a single radio operator would impersonate an entire network of voices, moving between locations to simulate division-scale activity. The final layer was atmosphere. Ghost Army troops wore fake unit patches, drove marked vehicles, and spread rumors in local villages. They posed as generals, talked loudly in bars, and left behind evidence that a major division had arrived. Every movement was part of a larger theatrical performance designed to fool spies, scouts, and anyone watching. The Ghost Army carried out more than 20 operations between June 1944 and March 1945. One of their most successful missions was Operation Vier. Near the Rhine River in Germany, the Ghost Army impersonated two US divisions, the 30th and 79th Infantry. Using all of their tools, inflatables, sound, radio, and performance to convince German forces that a major crossing was planned at a false location. The deception worked. The Germans moved troops to the wrong place, and real Allied divisions crossed the Rhine with minimal resistance, helping to speed up the Allied advance into Germany. But this work was dangerous. The Ghost Army often operated within enemy artillery range and had minimal protection. If captured, they could have been executed as spies. And yet, they continued staging fake armies, playing their roles, and disappearing before the enemy could react. In some cases, they drew enemy fire directly onto their decoys, risking their lives to protect the real troops. The Ghost Army wasn't armed with rifles or tanks. They didn't storm beaches or drop bombs, but through imagination, innovation, and sheer nerve, they created a weapon of illusion that saved lives and changed the course of history.